Are you struggling to manage your virtual team from home? Don't worry, you're not the only one. My name is Alastair McTavish, and this channel aims to help you to take your soft skills, communication skills, and leadership skills to the next level. In today's video, we're going to give you 5 tips how to manage your virtual team more effectively. Due to the coronavirus, now the majority of people are still working from home. Maybe you're working from home and managing your team remotely. I imagine that your team are also working from home. You don't have this face-to-face interaction that you're probably used to. So tip number 1 is adapt your style to different personalities. Now, some of your team members, they might be fun-loving salespeople. They like to have a laugh, have a joke, whereas other team members, they might be somewhat more reserved or somewhat more technical people who like data and like lots of detailed information. So depending on the style of your team members, you can adapt the way that you manage them. Okay, so tip number 1, adapt your style to the different personalities in your team. Tip number 2, learn how your team members like to communicate. Rather like number 1, some of your team members might be really outgoing. They will love having video conversations with you. They'll find it a lot of fun. On the other hand, some of your team members who are a bit more reserved, traditionally technical people, engineers, they might not enjoy having a video call with you every day. They might prefer to have a phone conversation or message you on WhatsApp or Teams. Everybody's different. Personally, I am not a fan of having MS Teams, Microsoft Teams open all the day. In our company, we tend to use this a lot. But what I find it very distracting because people write messages, even people just give your comment a thumbs up. I find it's a bit of a waste of time. However, we use MS Teams, so I have to roll with it. However, understand how your colleagues like to communicate, and if they prefer WhatsApp rather than Teams, well, send them a message on WhatsApp, and it might help you to build a stronger connection. So tip number 2 is learn which tools your team like to use to communicate. Tip number 3, build rapport. If you want to manage your virtual team even more effectively, it's really important to build a strong connection with your team. Again, everybody's different. Everybody's different. Just like a husband and wife relationship. If you want to build a good connection with your team, sometimes just simply listening to the challenges that your employees are facing is a really fantastic method. Just being empathetic, showing you care. You don't necessarily need to come up with solutions, but just asking a nice open question. How are things going? It's challenging for a lot of us, this lockdown. How are things going? I know you've got 2 kids and you got to homeschool them and get your work done. Don't worry, I understand. So tip number 3 to manage your team more effectively while working from home is take the time to build rapport. Tip number 4, when managing a team virtually, think about in meetings and in one-to-one conversations, how much as a manager are you talking and how much are you listening? As an internationally certified trainer, I focus very much during my training sessions on minimizing the amount I speak and maximizing the amount of time the delegates speak. Okay, so as a manager, think, when do I need to introduce some sort of new concept to my team? When do I tell people I ask my staff what I like them to do? And when do I need to ask more questions? Okay. So tip number 4 is listen more and speak less. Tip number 5 to manage your virtual team more effectively is be flexible when delegating tasks. Some managers, they like to say, you have to do this task in this way. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. However, this can be quite frustrating for employees, especially if you don't have that face-to-face interaction. So if your employee can get the task done efficiently and effectively, and they can use their way to get it done, if they're not breaking any rules, if they're following the procedures, then roll with it. Be a bit more flexible. So to sum up, 5 ways to manage your virtual team more effectively are as follows. Number 1, adapt your style to the different personalities in your team. Number 2, learn which tools your team members like to use to communicate. Number 3, take time to build rapport. Number 4, listen more and speak less. And last but not least, when delegating, try to be a bit more flexible. I hope you found these tips valuable and you're going to actually implement these when managing your team from home. And please write in the comments, what is the biggest challenge you face when managing your virtual team? You don't need to say names or write which company you're from, of course, but what is the main challenge you're facing now that you are managing your team from home while they're also working from home and you don't have so much face-to-face contact? If you found this video useful, please give it a like, please write a comment and subscribe to this channel. We've got a lot more videos coming to help you take your soft skills, communication skills and leadership skills to the next level. See you on the next one.